say? How are we gonna? All right. So we're uploading the live from earlier. So Laugh big up yourself. We uploaded earlier live to YouTube. So it will be on the website after we're finished here. Yeah. I'm gonna give the late folks some time to get in. So we can talk about this public declaration. We see people have a lot of questions, and it appears that some people are still confused as to what exactly the declaration is about and its effects. So we're gonna deep dive into what exactly is in this thing and why it is set up the way it is.
Needed to be reminded.
Kimar,
All good.
lawful.
Lawful, always.
Yeah, man. What you up to?
I know what I do, person. I never know me reach.
Look like it's a fat finger thing. All right, no
But
problem.
as I say, I'm there for the lower vibration, so hope me can increase the frequency today.
Okay. Well, let's see what
Alright.
we can do,
Alright.
because we have to get to the majority and not just think about those who come to class.
Most definitely.
So we're gonna make sure we get to some more specific detail and kind of make sure say we don't leave out people just because they are not up to speed about the state of things and what is possible. So we're gonna go through the public declaration that was posted the other day and hopefully bring some clarity for those who are still in limbo or those who are still wondering how this can be beneficial for them. So without further ado, we're gonna switch over to the computer and we're gonna talk about this declaration here. Let me see if we can get the screen bigger so we have more real estate on the screen. Is it? So, as we all know, we don't do any kind of membership over here. We don't do any kind of fees, nothing commercial, nothing where you have to pay for anything. Zine? So, this is strictly for informational and educational purposes only. All right, so this is the declaration that was posted the other day, right? And people had a lot of questions regarding what it is, can they use it, how effective it is, what can you use it for, you know, what some of these words mean, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to go through it first, and then we're going to talk about some of the elements of this declaration, right? So, let me open up this. We, the island nation of people, assembly. An assembly is simply a group of people that have the same ideals, right? A group of people that have the same values, that want the same thing. And we put in bracket Jamaicans because Jamaica is a franchise and a brand. Jamaica is not a country as most of us think it is. It is not a country, okay? And the reason Jamaicans is not a country is because it has a corporate status. It is listed in many places that are of a corporate or commercial nature. So we don't want to associate our rights with a corporation. So this is why Jamaicans is in brackets. Declaration of original, permanent, unalienable rights of every man and woman means that an unalienable right means something you're born with, something that somebody give to you and can be taken away. It is something that stays with you from your born until you pass on. So that's what unalienable rights are. So the declaration here means that you're making it public. You are saying it public. You are putting it in the public space so everyone is aware of what it is that you're doing. So if you post this on your page, either you're a man or you're a woman. In a business where people want to call themselves transmission, terminator, whatever. You're either a man or a woman. Okay? So if you post something like this on your page, you fall into one of these categories. And it would apply to you. This 22nd day of August is the date that this declaration was created. So it would go back to the date of creation. So this 22nd day of August 2025, be it enacted, means that this document here, this declaration, is activating on this day. This is why you see it in Acts of Parliament. Let us pull up an Act of Parliament, right? So, I don't know, Road Traffic Act 2018, Jamaica. Let us pull up an act so we see exactly an example of what we're talking about. So here is the Road Traffic Act. This one I said 2018. But either way, you can pick any one, right? The first section of any act, right? This one don't appear to say. We have the citation, Road Traffic Act. We have the definitions. Let us. The minister may order declare road traffic. This is not the current one. Let's go back. Let us go back. Road Traffic Act 2018. You see how difficult it is just to find The Road Traffic Act. Let me see what I found the link here. Kind of want to stay on topic. All right, see 2018. Yeah, come on. Reject. Okay, yeah. All right. Anyways, let us stay on topic. Be it enacted means you are enabling this declaration to be in the public space, and you are authorizing it to be enacted on this day. So this is an inherent authority. Be it enacted and made public notice. When we say we're making it public notice, TikTok is a public platform. It is not private. Unless you make your page private, your page is public. It's considered a public platform where you can post public notices. So be it enacted and made public notice by the sound of our voice. This is important. The sound of our voice. It means that you are a human being. You are not a creature of law. So it is a people that can make the sound of their voice do something, right? It makes a sound. It can direct action. It can make notices. It can do a lot of things. A corporation cannot have the sound of a voice. So this is why I read this aloud on my page, right? And I encourage everyone who wants to do the same to go ahead and do that. Because if you just simply post it, yes, it's effective, but you want to have something where you are saying this, you are turning this into a living document. This is why I say, by the sound of our voice. Okay? So you can record your own audio and put it above the declaration and post it on your page. We, the island nation of living and peaceful people assembly commonly called Jamaicans, right? So again, we are stating that this is from a living and peaceful people. This is not some legal status or some legal group. This is inherent rights of living people. Hereby say, state, and declare. Again, say, you have to have a mouth to say something. Right? You state it. Again, you have to be able to talk in order to state something aloud. And declare, which means that we're making it public. These self-evident and unalienable rights. Self-evident means what? You don't need a dictionary to know that life, freedom, health, and the pursuit of happiness is what everyone is looking for. So these are inherently self-evident, right? These are something that you don't have to go dig to say, well, is this really true or is this false? To be permanent, fixed, and paramount above all claims, rebutting all presumptions and assumptions ab initio. So it means that these rights are not coming from somewhere that someone can just take them from you or put them aside. Your rights come from God. You're born, come here with them. Nobody can take them from you. Nobody can suppress them, suspend them, and all them foolishness. It is permanent to each individual, right? And it is paramount above all claims. Your rights are yours. Nobody can come claim say your rights are for them own. So you are still making this clear in writing, right? And also in voice. Rebutting all presumptions and assumptions from the beginning or ab initio, right? If you don't rebut the fact that there are corporations and entities out there who are going to assume that you have no rights. They are going to assume that you are also a creature of law. They are going to assume that you have forfeited your rights. If you don't rebut these presumptions and assumptions, then they stand in law. And this is why many of us, I'm not going to say you, many of us have a lot of legal problems because of these assumptions and presumptions that you have not rebutted. The right to life, freedom, health, and the pursuit of happiness. Everybody literally look for this. Everybody literally want to have life. Everybody enjoy freedom. Everybody want health, and everybody wants some form of happiness. Even if we see it as negative, those people are still going for some kind of happiness. The right to contract or not to contract, which is unlimited. Many of us end up in contracts that are not even known to you to be contracts, which is where number 3 comes in. Declare void all contracts made under deception and or void of full disclosure of its nature and full extent disadvantages. If you don't know that you are entering into a contract, how can you then know that there are disadvantages that come with signing something? Literally everything that you sign on a form, is a form of a contract. A matter of fact, how do you know it's a contract? You get some kind of privilege or you get some kind of disadvantage. For example, you fill out an application for a driver's license, right? Now, you're traveling along the road and them say, okay, under the Road Traffic Act, we are give you this ticket. What does the Road Traffic Act control, or what is it subjected to? The Road Traffic Act is subjected to or applies to those who have a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, right, they try to give you a ticket for operating a vehicle without a driver's license. But that is only for those who have registered for a driver's license. That is not for those who have opted out not to get a driver's license. But we will get into that later. So that is a contract. You are subjected to disadvantages or advantages based on performance. Number 4, a right to earn a living freely by labor or exchange with society or individual, right? So either public or a private agreement. Labor is a natural force used to create value and thereby not a creature of government and exempt from taxation, levy, or unlawful taking without just compensation agreed upon or 10 times its original value if stolen and recovered by any means. What does this mean? For those of you who may not be aware, the reason you are paying income taxes is because it is presumed that you are working for profit. Excuse me. Let me say that again. The reason you are paying income taxes is because you are presumed to be working for gain or profit. Okay? Now, I know you have a lot of questions. We are talk about everybody work and everybody have to pay taxes and this and that and ray. That is not true. In order for you to gain something, that means that you have to have a base, meaning you have an equality, and then you gain something above that. Like for example, you buy something for $10 and you sell it for $20. That is a gain. That is a profit. If you are not gaining a profit, then you cannot be getting a gain. You cannot be classified as getting income if what you're doing is getting an equal amount. When you sign up for a job, doesn't the job tell you how much you're going to get paid per hour or how much per week or how much per month? Absolutely. So now, if you don't get overtime, can you be considered to be getting income? Because the definition of income, if you look it up, is anything that you gain, anything that makes you a profit, anything that makes you more than the agreed upon amount. So therefore, if you are getting paid based on the base rate, whatever it is you agreed to in the employment contract, and that is all that you're getting, it cannot be considered income. It is simply an exchange. You are working with your labor in exchange for the equal value in money. Whatever you agree upon, that is the equal compensation you are receiving as a result of exerting your energy. Now, if you are getting overtime, or if you're getting bonuses, or if you're getting all those different things, anything above the agreed upon amount, that is now considered a taxable amount. It is considered a taxable event. But anything within your contract, that is not your income. So many of you have been filing taxes incorrectly. That is what this means. You are free to earn. You are free to earn a living. The only thing that is taxed is when you are gaining more than you agreed upon. when it comes to a private contract. All right. Number 5, travel in the ordinary course of one's life and business. You are not supposed to be stopped on the road to check up on no documents. You are not supposed to be stopped on the road to check up on anything. Unless you are involved in a crime, you are not subject to arbitrary stop, search, and seizure. So this is why this declaration is here. If you so choose to use it and make it available in public form on your page, or if you want to post it in a newspaper and pay hundreds or thousands of dollars, go ahead and do that. But you can literally just post this on your TikTok page, right? Number 6. Let's go back to number 5. For those of you who are new here, or for those of you who are not aware, in Jamaica, of course, you have random so-called spot checks, random stop by the police. Section 13 of the Constabulary Force tells you the police cannot stop you unless there is a crime. The police cannot even interact with you unless something of a criminal nature is occurring. So when they stop you and say, oh, this is a random stop check. Oh, we are stopped to check your documents. Oh, the this, the that. Section 13 of the Constabulary Force Act clearly states the police cannot engage in any civil matter. So if it is not criminal, the police is 100% wrong. You're not supposed to be stopped in the ordinary travel of your course of life or business. Privacy and confidentiality, number 6. Free from unwarranted invasion. You have the right over everything that comes from you. Your name, your property, anything where you buy, anything where you inherit, all of it is yours. If you decide that this is a private, confidential thing, what you need to do is place all of what you own in some kind of private entity or a private capacity. Again, we can't talk about this on the live because it is beyond what TikTok will allow. But when you claim privacy and confidentiality, you need to have it in a private venue. You cannot have your name and your address and all them something there in public databases and then complain that you have a breach of your privacy because you didn't even make it known in the first place. Number 7, own and hold property lawfully without trespass. Again, if you don't make this known, how do people know they are trespassing on your property? You have to put up a sign, right? What do you think that sign is called? Public notice. It is no different from what we have here. Public notice. Self-defense when threatened with harm, loss, or deceit. This goes without saying. If someone is threatening you, someone is coming after you with a weapon, someone is threatening your life, you have a right to defend yourself. Self-defense. A right to due process of law with notice and opportunity to defend. Unless you are caught in the middle of a crime, you cannot just be brought to jail. Due process of law is outlined in the Constitution. Okay? There is a series of activities that need to happen before you are apprehended, jailed, or any of that. The first thing that needs to happen is you need to be brought in front of a justice. If you take the bribe, and the bribe is bail, if you take bail, you have forfeited due process initially. That is the first problem. If you take bail, you have forfeited your initial due process. So you can't come back and claim, say, oh, they never follow due process, they never follow this. Then why did you accept that contract of bail? All right. Number 10, be presumed innocent, suffering no detention or arrest, no search or seizure without reasonable, lawful cause by evidence of harm or wrong. Again, this is a right that is even enumerated in the Constitution itself. If you don't claim this right, you do not have it to begin with. You are trying to claim it after the fact when you get an attorney. So this is why you place this on the public record. You post it on your TikTok page. 11, remain silent when accused to avoid self-incrimination and void of benefit to the prosecution or the accuser. What this means is what? If you decide to exercise your right to remain silent, right? You are protecting yourself. That is a form of self-defense. That is a form of due process. If someone is accusing you of something, it is their burden to prove that you are doing the wrong that they claim that you did. They can't come expecting you to help them in their case. And if you don't state this, if you don't state these self-evident rights, you don't have them. And many of you have seen that in court already. This document is available on voiceofjamaica.com. The second post, voiceofjamaica.com. Number 12, equality in the eyes of the law and to equal representation. This is one of the most powerful things. Why? Because if you claim you are equal in the eyes of the law, and also the law supports this, almost every constitution supports this, equal representation. That means that you cannot have a state prosecutor and you just have a lowly attorney. You have to have the same caliber of representation if you want to claim equal access of the law. Let me say that again. If you have a 20-year veteran attorney representing the state, and you have an attorney that just come out of law school in the past 5 years, you are underrepresented. You are not equal in the eyes of the law. You demand equal representation if you are being accused of something, and it must be provided as a matter of law. You cannot have unequal representation. And again, this is a part of equal access to the law, equal representation of the law under the Constitution. 13, trial by jury. Being an impartial panel of one's peers. What that means, you should be able to demand that the case be tried by your community, the people them outer door, outer road. You have that right to ask for your case to be tried by a jury, not by a judge. This is very powerful because people can sympathize with your case. A judge will simply look at facts and look at how the other side is presenting their legal matters, not necessarily the details of the case. In many cases. So if you have a trial by jury, you have people who are thinking like you as a regular individual, not as a legal professional. Number 14, appeal in law against conviction or sentence or both. That means that if someone claims that you did something, whether it be the police or someone else accusing you of something, right? You have the right to appeal the so-called conviction. If, let's say, for example, you stand up in front of a judge, you never know what go on, and the judge say, yes, you are being convicted because you didn't provide any legal justification for your defense, right? You never have a good lawyer, whatever the case may be. You have the right to appeal that conviction and demand a trial by jury or demand a retrial. 15, expose knowledge necessary to one's rights and freedoms. This is free speech, right? If you have some knowledge that is to the good of your rights and your freedom, you can go ahead and expose that on your TikTok page. You can make it public, as long as you are not harming anyone or causing any public uproar. Number 16, peaceful association, assembly, expression, and protest. That means that you don't have to agree to everything that's happening, whether it be private, public, government, agent, anything. We as a people have the right to peacefully come together and say, we don't want this. This is bad for us. We don't want any form of this to happen in our community. We don't want this to affect us. We have that right. But education comes first. You can't just jump up and go out there so, and then when everything all said and done, nothing happens because you had no legal effect. This is why it is important to make these rights public. Number 17, practice a religion and to have beliefs of one's own choosing. Now, someone stitched this video earlier and they were making the point that in our schools, the only thing that is taught in many schools is Christianity. And not everyone is of a Christian belief system, right? So if you have a public school and the only thing that is taught in the public school is Christianity and the Bible, is that having one's right to one's belief? Or is one now subjected to the belief that is perpetrated in the public school system when it's supposed to be neutral, where everyone has a right to practice their own religion and beliefs? You decide. 18, love unto consensual marriage or tradition with children and as a family. And not everybody believe in a marriage, you know. Many people are just living together and they are quite comfortable and fine. They don't need a piece of paper to say, yeah man, we're married. Yeah man, we're together. Yeah man, am my man this. Yeah man, am my woman this. They are quite fine with just loving each other and staying in their private domain. They don't need a public declaration from the government in a public registry system saying that, oh yeah man, them two are together. We have that right to follow a tradition of our own. We don't have to follow the common public-facing narrative of you come together and you get married and sign a piece of paper which brings the state or brings the government into your business. You can keep everything traditional and private, and that is a right, inherent right. Because if the government wasn't there, we could have still gotten this done. We don't need the government to sign off on nothing. 19, security from abuse, persecution, tyranny, and war. We as a community can say no when we have too much abuse of power, overthrowing and overstepping into our communities. But again, we have to first be educated. This is why you need to know what is your rights or what rights you have. And then once you're educated on your rights, then you can claim those rights and post a public declaration like this one on your page. 20, refuse to unalive or harm under command by reason of conscience. A lot of times people are in their jobs and they are harming other people. They know that they are doing harm, but because of the job, they decide that they're going to go along with it because they don't want to lose the little job. They don't want to tell nobody what's going on. And half the time, it is because they don't have any support. There are people who are complicit with corruption. This is why we need to be more informed and educated. Not necessarily going to school. Informed and educated. Marcus, he said, can a copy of this document be sent to me? The document is available publicly on voiceofjamaica.com. You scroll down a little bit, and the second post is this document. 21, live in peace and be left alone when law abiding. These are what we call self-evident rights. If I am not engaged in any kind of criminal activity or disturbance, just leave me alone. Don't come ask me no question. Me not help you in no investigation. Me not help you in no interview. If you have information, then you use that and do your investigation. You don't go and disturb people in them home and knock down people gate and knock down them door and pry off them lock off of them grill. You have a right to live in peace and be left alone if you are not engaged in any form of criminal behavior. Okay? This is why you need to post this publicly. Because if it is publicly known, the authority cannot claim ignorance to it. 22. Maintain all power held in reserve unexercised, including but not limited to. In case you don't realize what this means, every time you sign something, every time you remain silent, every time you don't exercise or keep or maintain your rights, you are giving them up. This is why a public declaration of your rights is important. You place in the public the fact that you have these rights, and thereby you can exercise these rights at any time in the future. So, you have the right to maintain all power held in reserve, unexercised, including but not limited to. The power to vote or retain all powers that would have been forfeited by voting. Several people ask the question, what power am I giving up or forfeiting when I vote? Lipo, those who have signed up, they will get an email by the end of the day to allow them to become a signatory. It is not always that fast. So give it some time. You will get the email. So someone said, what power am I giving up when I vote? You would be surprised. All the powers that are granted to government, everything that the government has in place is as a matter of people voting. Let me say that again. Voting is what you see in the power of government. We, the people, created that. That is why the government wields the power that they have, because of voting. You have given the government power to create all of these institutions that they currently use and have in force and effect. So those are the rights of voting. Those are the powers of voting that you have given up. Now, what happens if you didn't vote? What happens if you didn't register to vote? Did you give up that power? No, you did not. Everything in law requires action. Okay? You registered to vote. So thereby, you now put your voting power, your power to allow the government to do things, you have put that into the registration of voting. And then you exercise, you put that right out there for any party that goes into power to now use your vote to continue the institution of government, how they are running things, unequivocally. No restriction whatsoever, no reservation. You give them all the powers they are exercising. What does that mean? That means that you cannot even complain. You can't do any, you have no power to stop the government once you allow them to start. Let me say that again. Once you vote and the government get into power, you have nothing. It's like a train coming down the tracks. It no matter what you put in front of the train are going to run it over. So that is the power that you give up when you vote, because you did not say your voting is giving only this percentage amount of power. You didn't say you are reserving any power to disband or to stop the government from doing things that you don't approve of. Has anybody ever thought about the fact that when the government goes into power, they don't ask anything of the people? They simply just go ahead and do and do and do and do, and all we do is complain? How did that happen? That happened as a result of you giving 100% power to the government, and thereby you reserved none of your power. So it's either black or white, left or right, up or down, vote or not vote. Once you vote, you give up 100% power. So that is one problem out of many that happens by voting. If we instituted a system of voting that only allows, for example, 40% of power to the government, and we retain 60% of power, that means that when the government is doing things that are not in our best interest, we can thereby stop the government from going forward with any agreement because we retain the 60% power. We retain controlling power over all actions. If we stop giving up 100% of our power through voting, that is what that means. And we're just at A. B, the power to register, and this is what we're reading from now, we have the right to maintain all power held in reserve unexercised, including but not limited to. The power to register or retain all powers that would have been forfeited by registering. Just like when you register a car, what happened? You gave the authority 100% power over your car. You did not reserve any of those powers. You didn't reserve any of those rights to the car. Registering means giving into the care of something else, like an authority. So you registered the car to the government now. That means they have 100% power to do what they want with that car, even though you have a right to it. You have registered it. That means that all of the documents related to the car, all of the things related to rights to the car, the government has what's called first priority. It's like a lien. You authorize a legal lien on your property by registering it. The power of voluntarily paying taxes or retain all powers that would have been forfeited by voluntarily paying taxes. Again, like we discussed earlier, if you are not gaining something beyond a private agreement, it is not taxable. You are voluntarily paying certain types of taxes without knowing why you are paying it or if you are even eligible to be paying that kind of tax. Income means any kind of gain or profit. You cannot gain something by agreement. If we have a contract together, if we say, hey, you have this thing and me want it for this amount, that is a private agreement. That is an equal exchange. But if me say, okay, this of a $50 and you pay me $50, but yet still me I go say, oh, you know, say, me I go want charge you $120 for carry it down here, so that is a gain beyond the contract. So that gain you can pay taxes on. But an equal contract is not a gain. It is not a profit. So thereby, many of you have been filing taxes incorrectly. And you have been forfeiting your inheritance. You are charge yourself tax upon the money where you agree say you would get in a private from a corporation. The power to be a part of a lawful tribunal or to reserve the right to be a part of a lawful tribunal. What does this mean? This means a court is a tribunal. Every court is a tribunal. Every administrative body that makes decisions that affect privileges or rights are tribunals. Most of them are not lawful tribunals. Why? Now this is going to get just a tiny bit deep. Right now, in order for a court to be instituted in Jamaica, right? What are the requirements to be a part of that tribunal? What are the requirements to be a part of that court? You have to be an attorney. In order to be a judge, you have to have a certain amount of years of practicing as an attorney in order to be a judge. So how is that a lawful tribunal? Where in the Constitution does it state that the requirement to be a judge, the requirement to be any kind of representative in court is to be an attorney first? Nowhere in law does it state that. But yet still, in this country, in Jamaica, to become a judge, you must be a practicing attorney with a certain amount of years of experience. If you don't have a certain amount of years of experience, you cannot be a judge. You cannot be a part of that tribunal. So that is not a part of the written text of the Constitution. And therefore, it cannot be lawful. Okay? We, the people, are the only ones that can create a lawful tribunal. Because that requirement of being an attorney, that requires what? For you to go to law school, that requires specialized education, that requires specialized membership. That is not a lawful tribunal. That is not inclusive of everyone. And oftentimes you are restricted. You are told you have to go get an attorney in order to get your matter represented. Sometimes the judges will tell you, you have to get an attorney, you cannot proceed. Or sometimes you are disadvantaged because you don't know legalese, you don't know how to talk in legal language. So now they run over you because you don't know how to explain things legally, which is not a requirement of the Constitution. So one of the problems we don't realize is that we, the people, can form our own lawful tribunal. All we need is a proper record system and participation from our communities. That is all. We can even have court out a door as long as it goes undisturbed. We don't need a big building. We don't need fancy signs. We don't need any of that. We can literally go up on one ball ground, one community center, and hash out matters legally. Create a record of the matters that are being decided. That is lawful. That is within the context of the Constitution. Let us proceed. The power to peaceful assembly or retain all powers of peaceful assembly. That goes without saying. If we decide that we're going to gather somewhere, we don't need permission from the police. We don't need permission from the government. We are the ones who instituted government, so thereby, the government can't tell us what to do as long as it is legal, as long as it is not involving any criminal element. No one can stop us from peaceful assembly. We don't need a permit for that. This is why you need to put these things in the public so it is known. It is not later claimed that you had these rights and nobody know about it. So you need to post things like these on your page. So you already made it public. F, the power to recover all lost power, property, items, or value taken without consent, under false pretense, threat, duress, or coercion by any person, man, woman, being, creature of law, agent, agency, or government. What does this mean? A lot of you don't realize that a lot of your property have been abandoned because you don't understand what's happening in law. Many of our ancestors, many of our people who have passed, have left inheritance for us, but we don't know how to claim it. And it is still there. It is still there. Your inheritance is there, but you have to what? Come to class, become a signatory. I cannot disclose everything here. These are only protections. Optimistic Sage says, so I can stand in a public space and police shouldn't tell me to move along. As long as you are not disturbing the peace, as long as you are not causing any kind of problems, as long as you are not engaging in any criminal activity or any kind of questionable activity, the police cannot tell you to move along. You can stand wherever you please. That is a right. Violation of any enumerated right. What does enumerated means? It means anything that is written down here. Enumerated. Put down and listed. Violation of any enumerated right shall be punishable by a minimum fine of 5 million Jamaican dollars, regardless of status or rank in society, claimed immunity, under color of law, or political affiliation or governmental office. What does this mean? This means that once you have made your rights public, you have listed the fee or the fine for violating each and every one of your rights. Every time you get violated, you can now use your public declaration as your document to claim declaratory relief because of the violation, the intentional violation after you have made it public. Notice to agent is notice to principal. What does this mean? Just like the police is an agent of the constabulary force, is an agent of the Ministry of whatever, Ministry of National Security and Ministry of the Government, an agent of the government. When you notify an agent, you are also notifying the principal. You are notifying the head. The tail is notified. That means that the head is notified because it is the same organization. Notice to principal is notice to agent, meaning that if you notify the head, everybody down at the bottom get notified too. That's what that means. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. This is a maxim of law. It means that it has been accepted for so many hundreds of years that it does not need adjudication. It does not need anyone else's input to state that this is a fact. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Intentional harm carries the weight of conviction multiplied by 10. So if someone harms you in violation of your rights, not only do you claim your $5 million, you claim the multiplied penalty of 10 times the conviction. Failure to satisfy a penalty, conviction, or judgment shall be grounds for punishment of incarceration of 10 years minimum multiplied by 10. So we are send them God jail. If your rights are violated after you've made them public, you take this declaration and you post it on your TikTok page, you post it on a notice board, you post it wherever is in a public space, and you have a record of that. This is why I say, take this document and post it on your TikTok page. Screenshot the page them and post it on your TikTok page. Once you post this on your TikTok page, it is public notice. TikTok is a public platform. You can get this document at voiceofjamaica.com. It is the second post on the front page. The voice and will of the people are hereby made public by notice to all, by inherent right of free speech, freedom of expression, and freedom to assembly and make contracts of all kinds. By our birthright, we say, state, and declare the protections and rights herein to be protected individually and collectively. So individually right now, because we don't have a community, we don't have people in a collective that we can say the whole of we are going to support each other. So for now, you have this individually that you can post on your page. Collectively, when we gain some more sense and we can come together. All violators shall be held liable equally. So regardless of what you claim your position in society is, you are brought down to the level playing field. All violators shall be held liable equally. One people, one assembly, one voice. So it is done. Right? So that is the explanation of this public declaration here. Okay? You can print it out and sign it. You can screenshot the pages and post it on your TikTok page. You can post it in the paper. You can post it, you can send it to different governmental agencies. You can send it to the Prime Minister. You can send it to the Governor General. You can send it to the Attorney General. You can send it to each and every one that you feel necessary. As long as you have a record of it, no one can claim ignorance of it. Especially you post it on your TikTok page, you can claim it to be a public notice. TikTok is a public platform. Again, how do you get to this document? You go to voiceofjamaica.com. This is the website, voiceofjamaica.com. You scroll down a little bit, and the second post, it says protect your rights now, make your voice be heard. You click on that, and then here you have the declaration that you can click on, and you have the full document. Here you go. 7 pages. That's it. 7 screenshots, and you post it to your page. If you want to make it even stronger, you read this document in a voice note, and you use that audio to embed under the posting. If you look on my page, you'll see an example. If you don't know how to do that, and you want to have this declaration with your voice in the background, what you can do is you can record a voice note of you reading it. And then on the website, you have something called submission portal in the menu. See it there? Submission portal. You click on that, and you can send in your voice note, and we can we can combine it for you into a video and send it back to you so that you can post it on your page. Okay? It is much better if you can record yourself reciting the voice note of the declaration and then send it over so that we can combine it for you and you can then post it back on your page. So what does this declaration do? What exactly is it doing? It is making known these enumerated rights, these rights that are listed here. You are claiming that these are your rights. Once it is posted for 30 days, it is now made a matter of what? Public law. That is why you have agencies talking about they want access to your social media page. They want access to your TikTok page. They want access to your Facebook. They want, why? Why? Because it is a matter of public law. Once the page is unlocked, it is not set to private. It is a matter of public notice. That is why they can use it in a court. But many people don't realize this. When you post this, it becomes a matter of public law. Now you can use it how you see fit. You can use it as your defense. You can use it as a claim or in support of a claim. You can use it to start a case. You can use it in many different situations. I can't tell you how to use it. I can just tell you how to protect your rights. If you want to learn more than this basic, because this might sound heavy to some of you. If you want to learn more, you can become a part of our signatories group. This is what Voice of Jamaica is all about. Sharing information without a fee. There is no charge for this. There is no charge. There is no fee. There is no profit. There is no gain. You go to voiceofjamaica.com. You click on support a portal. That is how you become a signatory. You scroll down and there is a form right here that you fill out to become a signatory. Once you become a signatory, you get access to many of the features of the website that is not available to the general public. It takes action for you to gain something. Once you take action, then you have access to the replays of the classes, the courses, the TikTok lives, all of these things you have access to. When you become a signatory, you also have what's called rights activation. And let us take a look again at some of our signatories. See how many people are already a signatory. We don't play over here. If you want to learn about your rights and how you can move forward more informed, more educated, more intelligent. We cannot do this on TikTok. This is not something that we can disclose over TikTok. This is why many pages are getting shut down. Optimistic Sage says, you guys meet as a group face to face? No, we do not. That is too dangerous in today's day and age, especially right now. So we don't do that. Okay? So, again, if you want to become a signatory, you go to voiceofjamaica.com, you click on support a portal, and you can fill out the form to become a signatory. Once you fill out the form, you're going to get an email within 24 hours on how you become a signatory. All right? So, that is how you become a signatory. If you don't want to do that, that is fine. Nobody now force you to do nothing. Right? If you just want to make your rights public, you have the document right here. Go to voiceofjamaica.com, you click on the second post, right? Once you click on this post, then you have the declaration here. You click on this, and you have the 7-page document. You choose what you want to do from here. I have just explained the entire thing, but I am also going to make this video available on the website so that those of you who miss the starting of this explanation of the declaration, you get the 100 when it comes to what these words mean, what each section is talking about, what effect it has, etc., etc., etc. Zin? So, I'm going to open up the panel for anyone who has any questions regarding the declaration. So you can come up and we can go through any section or we can answer any questions. Okay, look like everybody is astute then. Everybody is quite aware of what I was talking about then. There's no questions. No problem. So, everything that we have in society is a matter of public notice. All the acts of parliament were placed in the public as public notice in the Gazette. All of the major constitution and the reforms that we have around the world is as a matter of public notice. Nothing goes into law without becoming public notice first. Optimistic Sage, big up yourself. What go on?
Yeah, man. Afternoon. Just a particular section as it relates to freedom of speech. I recall a policeman would have shot a pregnant woman after she uttered some words which he considered to be indecent. And not to mention that he himself had said it to her first, and she responded. He wanted to arrest her. She was resisting, and I think he shot her. I think she was pregnant, and I think both her and the baby died. And in the States, I see a lot of persons who declare freedom of the speech, and they can tell the policeman anything they so choose, except to tell a lie. But if you can tell a man about him, whatever, and it's not considered illegal. I noticed you had read a section here, so it forced me to ask, where are we in terms of freedom of speech? Why is it that in 2025 we still have this thing called this type of oppression where you're not, this is our language, this is our patois language, you're not allowed to speak it freely?
Well, the first thing is this, right? Like I said before, if we don't declare a right, how does anyone know that you are exercising that right or you have that right? Even if you want to claim that you have the right to freedom of expression, freedom of speech, etc., etc., who did you make aware that you had these rights? How did you? Because remember, some of these laws are there before we were even born. So if we're going to claim something, we can't claim say it did it from before we're born, so we're born in it. Everything that we do in society require us to either sign up for something, fill out a form, go and do this action, go perform this task. Everything is based on action. So if we're going to go out there and say certain things or do certain things, right? It still requires us to make some kind of claim, which if we are saying we have the right to free speech, that is okay. But you can't do the free speech and then I make the claim afterwards. It's almost like you go down somewhere and you do something and then you try to explain yourself after, right? It just don't have a lot of credibility. So while it is, we might consider it morally wrong for somebody to say something and then, something like an unaliving happened because you said something out of your mouth. I mean, it is unconscionable, right? But in the eyes of the government, many of the time, it all comes down to, did you make this known? What was this your actual right to begin with? What legal position does your representative come with? All of these intricacies and technicalities rather than the actual law of the case, right? That is a big problem. So my thing is, if you had made that public declaration or everyone knew about this or should have known about it because you made it public, you have a complete defense. So now if you go out there and you say, I am expressing my freedom of speech, right? And the police lock me up. Now I am claiming that I am entitled to $50 million. What defense does the police have when you are not engaged in a crime? There is none. Because again, ignorance of public law or private law is no excuse once it is made public. Barry says, can this notice replicate in other countries like Canada? Of course, this can replicate anywhere. Would it?
Might I add as well that I recall Tavares Finson being the Speaker of the House. When his mic was not closed and he uttered some of those deformities. Likewise, in recent time, Warmington and a campaign trail uttered some really vulgar languages, right?
Right.
I'm saying no police approach them. However, had it been me, you'd have heard that I might have been charged for indecent language. So I don't understand. The irony is glaring.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. And we see the favoritism all the time. We see the preferential treatment all the time, right? An individual gets penalized while a member of parliament or a member of the government is often, glared over to say, well, it was a mistake. Oh, well, it was this. But
Men was say this important still here, but me youth important more, you understand?
yeah, one glamour wagwan. All right, look like.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Wagwan. All right. I'm not ready yet. So, while we have these rights, if we don't make it known, we don't make it public notice, how can we then claim it in any way, shape, or form? How can we enforce something that is not made public? So when you hear people that run around and talk about constitutional rights, my constitutional rights are violated, my constitutional rights with this, my right to this, violate my rights. Who did you let know that you have a right? When did you declare that you have any rights? You can make it public by simply posting it onto your ignorance of the law. Excuses, no man. Exactly. You can simply post it to your TikTok page. Give public notice. You can take this entire document, you can screenshot each page, and you can post it to your TikTok page. Right? And it will have the same effect as public notice, because TikTok is a public international platform. This is why your posts and your page can be subject to legal action. It can be subpoenaed. No, the law is passive. The law is not active. That means that the law will only work with those who move, those who do some kind of action. If everybody lived in peace, the law would not be needed. It is the disturbance, it is the action of those who go outside of the law that makes the law continue to work. Whether we want to call it the force of law, whether we want to call it law, whether we want to call it policy, whether we want to call it whatever it is, it has the effect of law because it is being enforced as law. Right? So that is another problem. We have policies that are being enforced as law. And I can't stay on these topics too much because the page gets flagged every time I start talking too much about the governmental institutions. But what we know today as law is not law. The only law we have in Jamaica is the Constitution. Optimistic Sage says, so when I am declaring the law, I need to tell where it is? No, you don't. Once you make public notice, the public notice is the location. That is the law. If it is not challenged within 30 days, it becomes law. That's how public notice works. John, what go on? All right, Sean already is.
Yeah, man, me there, man, me there.
Okay. What's up?
Yeah, the page I'm see have an where we find that page there?
Voiceofjamaica.com.
Oh, Voice of Jamaica. Oh, me sign up on it already, But me not try if it find out how me access certain information or materials from it.
Like what? Like the declaration?
Yeah, especially that's where you post. Oh, that would be there, as I say.
Yeah, man. Just go on
so
the
that will
page
be
and
there.
scroll down a little bit.
Okay. And the Constitution will be there too, right?
No.
Fundamental Constitution of freedom and but that would be accessible though online.
Yes, it is on there, but
Oh,
you have to be a signatory. When you sign up, it takes several hours for the email to get out to you.
Okay. Yeah, but me sign up already, man. Me sign up long time. Sign up and get a confirmation.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you get a
Vice of
login,
Jamaica.
right?
Yeah. What's it? Vice of Jamaica. Yeah, man. Me sign up, man, and get a login. Can we go and get a copy too?
Yeah, once you get a login,
Exactly.
you will have access to all of the documents in the download section.
Yeah. Let's hope, remember. Let's remember me login information though.
Yeah, the login supposed to be in the email.
Secure that email IP. Oh, it's all that. Can me print off on page, you know? Can you give me like a barcode? Print off on page with a barcode.
Okay, okay.
That's what. One step to make that. Yeah. So at least me tell, at least me on the right track, don't? Let me get that page.
Yeah, you're supposed to have
Correct?
huh?
Yeah, we get a paper with a barcode. So apparently we're not on the right track, don't? Signature
No, not
certificate.
necessarily. You know, the barcode, the barcode would have come from the public notice. The first public notice, this one, came with a barcode.
Yes. Yeah, but we sign up. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But you should have your login in your email though.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you would have the login in your email. Once you sign in, you would have access to the rest of the website.
Right, so I'm gonna go check back again and see. Go back in the same email and get the rest of the information.
But this document here doesn't require login.
Oh, it doesn't require a login?
No.
Okay. Once you go there. So I'm gonna just post it on my TikTok.
Right.
And make it public known. Okay.
Right.
You
take a screenshot.
Our Facebook too, right?
Huh?
Our Facebook too.
Yeah, man. All platforms.
Our Facebook too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, someone said is driving with fog lamps unlawful. No,
okay. And then, and then post it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Oh, hold on. I missed something a while ago. You said about fog lamp?
No, someone in the comments was talking about asking about fog lamps.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, all them look thing there. I see why them should make that be an offense, you know, driving with fog lamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well.
As far as I'm concerned, you have no idea.
Well, you know, things like these things happen when we don't participate in how government works, and we don't get ourselves educated when we have these laws being passed, and we don't know that it doesn't apply to us.
Right.
So if we don't know it applies to us, then they're going to use ignorance to turn you into a fool.
Right. Absolutely. But what's your take on it though? Driving with the fog light on.
The fog light, some of them are automatic. They come with the car. The commissioner already said.
Yeah, man.
The commissioner already said that the practice is unlawful.
They're like running daylight.
Right.
Yeah, man. But, yes. Like, but
you have,
when you put on and turn on.
They have to prove that is an offense. That is a criminal offense. An offense is not just an offense just because they write it down.
Right. It has to be gazetted.
No, it has to be in alignment with common law, criminal principles.
Oh, okay.
If they don't meet the criminal principles, you cannot say it's an offense. So because people don't know this, they might take everybody for a fool.
Right, but what would be a criminal offense in terms of the criteria to be?
Right. You have what's called the elements of a crime.
Right.
All right, the elements of a crime. Let us take a look at it on the screen. Going a little bit off topic, but let's cover it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Google.
Okay.
Google. So let us cover this real quick. Elements of a crime. Right? We have
Right.
three elements that are important. We have mens rea, guilty mind, right?
Yeah.
You have to have the intention to cause harm or to break the law.
Right.
Number two, actus reus. You have to have a physical act that breaks an actual law, right? And you need something called corpus delicti, or the body of the crime.
Yeah.
If you don't have, sometimes they call it causation, right? If you don't have evidence of the loss, the injury, or the harm that was done, it does not meet the criminal elements of a crime, and it cannot be.
Right.
It cannot be an offense, because when they use the term offense, you are not realizing that they mean criminal offense.
Right.
So you just think an offense is just an offense. It don't sound serious to you, but you know your brain not processing that you can go to jail.
Yes.
So now, if you can go to jail, that means that it is a crime. You have to meet all those elements, because a crime is a serious thing. You are taking away people's rights.
Right.
So those three elements must be met first before someone can classify an act as a criminal act or an offense.
Okay.
So police stopping you and asking you for a license it is unlawful.
Okay, so all right, so they're not supposed to do that anymore then.
They weren't supposed to do that from the beginning.
Okay, then. Okay.
You mean asking if you have driver's license?
Yeah, license and registration.
Let us look at it.
That's why I noticed them change it now. Them basically run a license to get all that information now. So the decal and the windscreen not really necessary.
All of them something illegal from day one. And we're gonna bring up the Constabulary Force Act.
Because as we said earlier on, I drive and the constable step out into the road and fan me down. So stop. Good evening, officer. What's going on? So him say, he must stop me because of the fog lamp. Some say what happened to the fog lamp? He say it's an offense. The fog lamp? Because it's not raining, it's an offense. Okay, so
that's a foolishness.
You proceed for asking for license and registration. You understand? Right. So that more was it a lawful or an unlawful stop?
That is 100% unlawful. Why?
Unlawful.
Unlawful.
Okay.
And let us cover why.
Yeah.
Because we can't just say it unlawful, We have to prove say it unlawful.
Okay.
This is the Constabulary Force Act we're looking at on screen. This is Section 13.
Yeah.
Section 13 said the duties of the police under this act shall be to keep watch by day and by night, to preserve the peace, to detect crime, apprehend or summon before a justice persons found committing any offense or who may be reasonably suspected of having committed any offense or who may be charged with having committed any offense, to serve and execute all summonses, warrants, subpoenas, notices, criminal processes issued from any court of criminal justice or by any justice in a criminal matter, and to do and perform all the duties appertaining to the office of a constable. Now, hear the kicker now. But it shall not be lawful to employ any member of the force in the service of any civil process.
Okay.
So the police only have criminal jurisdiction, and the powers coming from the police to the police is from the courts. That's why everything them do, it say what?
Yeah.
bring it in front of a justice, or bring it into a court, or coming from a court of criminal justice.
Okay.
All related to criminal. So let me ask you a question. Can the police look at your car coming down the road and see that it is involved in a criminal offense?
No.
So what does fog lamp have to do with any of that?
That's the same thing I want to find out. Because end up at the station, how long somebody have to come give me station bail. And
Yeah.
Well,
That's,
that is how they trick you. They offer you bail, so they get you out of your due process rights. When they offer you bail, you tell them, I want to see a judge right now. I don't want no bail. An innocent individual has the right to see a
No.
See, the constabulary force Act Section 13 says summon before a justice, right?
yeah.
So why are they giving you bail?
That's what I wanted to know. You understand? It never make any sense to me because fog lamp. That's such an offense.
Yeah, an offense is related to a
Four.
criminal matter.
Alright. So basically then, alright, let's say then so them stop it then for the fog lamp and say conversational purposes, say your fitness not intact on your car then. So your
Alright.
fitness up. Right? So would that still be what you don't say? Would that
Yes.
still be I'm gonna try to find the word. Would that still be a lawful stop if them find out that it's right?
No, because the reason for the stop in the first place must be criminally related.
Okay.
You can't stop me and ask me if me commit a crime.
Makes sense. Makes sense now.
That don't like them are fish. Them are fish for a reason to
Yes.
continue doing what they're doing.
Okay.
Right.
So if you stick with just this section 13 of the Constabulary Force Act, you don't even need anything else. The Road Traffic Act and all them
Right.
they don't come into play if the police is not doing a criminal duty.
Right.
Because no, I end up with a court date for next month because of the same thing. This big waste of my time.
Exactly. So now you have malicious prosecution because them arrest you, them offer you bail, and now them are send you to court in front of a judge, which is what? It is going to be an appeal because you've already been convicted.
Yeah, because even on the farm where you asked him to sign, it said prisoner. Someone said prisoner. They
Exactly.
refer to me as a prisoner. I wasn't even handcuffed, nothing at all. I wasn't brought in any cell, no nothing like that. But you have prisoner signature. I said, offender, but don't put prisoner. Understand?
Yeah,
Prisoner,
but you
That's
be
why-
an offender neither.
You
You will be
see,
an offender, no, unless you breach the law
Yeah.
of the Constabulary Force Act.
this is why we say come to class.
Yeah.
Because these are basic things. These are things that most people don't know, but it is so basic that the police often use these things against you because once you open your mouth, they know exactly if you know what you're talking about.
Okay. True. So what I want to know now is that so when I go to court, right, for the same issue, right, can I then argue the point that it was an unlawful stop because of the fog lamp wasn't a reason for it wasn't unlawful for me to be using a fog lamp. Can I then argue that point, or that point is out the window being that they offered me bail?
I cannot give you legal advice, but if I was in that position,
Yeah.
the first thing I would say is, Judge, it appears that I was accused of an offense and I was given bail.
Yeah.
So to my knowledge, I don't know what offense in criminal law I committed. So I would like to know the nature and cause of this case.
Okay.
What crime did they tell you you committed?
Well, basically, because all right, we had, I have a learner's permit, right? Someone was in the car that has a license, but the person was in the back seat. So they said, "Oh, driving without a license," right? So the papers on the car and everything else was good. Everything's up to date. That's the only thing. I should do my driving test next month. So basically, they charged me for driving without a license. They didn't put the fog lamp on the paper of the
Oh,
charge.
so a fish them really a fish, I think I say. See, a
Basically,
fish and find something. Yeah, see.
All
that's
right,
not.
so
Yeah.
hold on. Someone asked, where is class?
Because
Important question. Private classes are only available to signatories. So you would have to go to Voice of Jamaica and sign up as a signatory under the supporter portal. We cannot have class on TikTok. This that I'm giving you is basic enough that they won't shut down the page. See?
Understood.
So this is why I can't give you everything. If you're a signatory, then you would have all the information necessary to access the website and also the private groups. That is where we have class. We can't give any of that information here in public. Now, back to the question of what position can one take if you are so-called convicted and end up having to go to court.
Yeah.
For me, I don't argue semantics because no, you are all right. We have foundational law, then we have regulations above it, right? We have go up, go up, go up. So we
Yeah.
have the Constitution, we have the Constabulary Force Act, we have the Road Traffic Act, we have road traffic regulation, we have all these things going up. What is at the bottom? The Constitution. That's where everybody get them power from. The Constitution.
Yeah.
Above that, you have the Constabulary Force Act. That's where the police get their power from.
Okay.
So if the police have their powers and duties down here, so why may I come up here and argue?
True. True. Makes sense.
You come back down to the foundational level. Where did you get this power from? And how did you establish that I committed an offense, which is a crime, a criminal offense? I need to know what criminal offense you say I committed, because Road Traffic Act, road traffic regulations, insurance, all them something there have nothing to do with criminal law.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with criminal law. Whether me pay a fee or not, whether me have a learner's permit, whether me have a driver's license, what does that have to do with a criminal? So tell me, I would like to know, because it was not disclosed, that I committed a criminal offense. That is what an offense means in law. If you look at a legal dictionary, the word offense means criminal offense. There is no civil offense. No such thing exists. So if you are convicted criminally, if I am convicted criminally, the first question I need to ask the judge is, can I get the charging instrument to explain to me what criminal act I am being convicted of? Simple. If you don't have it, I move to dismiss this case because there is no claim. There is no criminal claim. The police cannot initiate civil matters. That is what the Constabulary Force Act said. Let us look at it again. Let us look at it again. The Constabulary Force Act, Section 13. At the bottom here, where it say? But it shall be
Unlawful to employ any member of the. What's that? I can't see the screen.
of the force.
Court.
It shall be unlawful, or it shall not be lawful. Same thing. To employ any member of the force in the service of any civil process.
Yeah.
So that means that the police cannot even issue a ticket with a monetary value on it, because that is civil.
Oh boy.
And I mean, so you know,
Right, that is civil.
document this.
yes. Yes. Yeah, once any monetary value on it, it will be civil.
Okay.
Mm.
So, if the police is out there issuing all of these different documents and it is not meeting the elements of a crime, then that is what
Because
you call malicious prosecution.
yes, because once you go before a judge and bring the judge to that focus, there's gonna be a big problem when you outline that to the judge. Right, it's a evaluation there.
Yeah, you just
Because the
print
judge
it.
have to follow the rules.
Page
The
9
judge
and
have to
page
follow
10.
the rule. Mm-hmm.
Right. You don't argue semantics about, oh, what happened that day and this and that. No. No, you're not there for that. The
Okay.
Constabulary Force Act say it needs to be a criminal act. So I want to know what crime did I commit for me to get arrested.
Okay.
That's all that is relevant. If you can't prove that, then what else matters?
Exactly. Because
Mm-hmm.
the funny thing about it is these. Hold on. Jesus. One second.
Yeah, whatever trick them want pull is a matter of semantics.
Yes.
You come with a matter of law. Is the Constabulary Force Act a law in force? Yes. Okay, good. Here we have page 9 and page 10. Where is the criminal act that the police is claiming that I have caused for me to be arrested?
Right.
If them can't answer that, they don't have a case. The judge must dismiss the case. It's not a if and or but.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the judge continues knowing that you have brought up that issue of jurisdiction where the police have executed an action contrary to their powers and duties, that judge has now incriminated him or herself and may now become a party to the case.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to be complicit with an unlawful action. These are dangerous things I'm talking about, I am not telling anyone to go do this. But I am saying it is a matter of law. There is something called failure to prosecute. Right? That means that if somebody is breaking a law, an actual law, and you fail to prosecute that individual, or you fail to make active the part of the law to prosecute that individual, you are now complicit with that failure to prosecute.
Right. So it will force the judge to prosecute the police.
If you bring up that point, most likely they will.
I tell you, mercy. So it's important to to gain knowledge like this. So very important.
That's why we say read.
Yeah.
You don't have to read everything,
Correct.
You don't have to read
Yes.
everything. You just need to read what pertains to you.
Exactly. Man. Why this coming like in a poem we need to recite. No, seriously. The Canterbury Force Act, section 13.
Yep.
Yeah, man. This
Hey,
is
good
supposed to know it.
afternoon.
Wake up all night and night and recite it and go back to bed, go sleep again.
Good afternoon, good
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Yes,
Spiller. Big up yourself.
Well, I'm a boss.
Yeah.
My
I'm
boss.
there,
Tell her.
Listen, I try to get in
Okay.
touch with you and can't touch with you, man.
Hey,
Now,
what's going on?
my phone, echo. Hold on, me take out my earphone. I have a ask about it because my sister is very, very informative. Just reach out to you and ask you to send me a number for me to talk about it. I was so upset the other day when I got 4 tickets at once. Illegal ticket. I'm feeling say illegal. When I say illegal, unlawful ticket. That's what you call it, right? No, I want to know something. Good afternoon, gentle people. Good afternoon, everyone on the platform. By the way.
Afternoon.
Yeah, I want to know something. Is it that to say we have the right to reverse up a highway?
I don't know of such a thing.
Okay. All right. So, over Portmore, So I was heading coming from 3 miles area, end up in the toll plaza there, so which part the traffic bang up because they don't have a proper line for you to know which lane to go in. You will see the lane, look at it, the right front of you when you end up in the line. And by the time you reach there, you realize you're in there, you have to go over. You understand me? Now
Yeah.
the police, them always come out there evening time. Anyways, I was coming straight down. So now I see about 5 or 6 cars before me. In a certain lane. So I go into that lane, so I follow them cars. I say, this is a lane, I just follow them. I look at it look at the less lane. Where you have less traffic, right?
Right.
Traveling down there, the policeman come out and realize that me say, boy, yo, me reverse all the way back up go join the line. Me know say reverse and back I same thing, but reverse up the road fi go join the line because I wrong line. Some of them say no, I'm not gonna reverse. Because I say why we should have reverse and because I just indicate and ask somebody to give me a blind figure in the correct line. Me wrong am I right, sir?
Yeah, that is a natural thing to do.
So when I ask, when same time my brother see me and say, yo, come cross, man, everything good singer, man, come cross. For me, go cross. You know the man do? Pull me out of the line and say, me this will be a police. And if me not go all the way back, him, I give me ticket. Take the man the license and give me 4 tickets. Well, one of the tickets was for seatbelt, which I'd never did. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. Right? Me and the passenger wasn't wearing seatbelt. So that the one there, all right. Me admit to that, right? But he must say me this will be a police order and me obstructing traffic. So me get 4 tickets for that. So me I call now for ask you, how can I deal with that? Because me say me feel unjust. Me feel like me know me not do nothing wrong. You know?
Well,
Because he was clearly using his might. The tell me say must come out of the lane. Because the man let me cross in the next lane. Willfully he must come cross, and I go cross in there. So I'm asking you because if you can assist me, come on go a quote because I'm not gonna pay this, I'm not gonna pay for the ticket. So me get my ticket back, me get my license back with 14 from my birthday and a 4 ticket me get the next day after. 6 tickets, 6 to be exact, 6 because Friday me get 4, Saturday me get 2.
bring on the phone. All right. So again, before I proceed,
Yes.
I don't give legal advice. I can only say what I would do.
All right, please, thank you.
Right. So in a situation like that, like I tell everyone on this page, you cannot get justice on the side of the road.
Right.
If you decide that you are going to challenge it, you just have to decide what you are going to challenge and why. You cannot go in there trying to explain. You have to come with some law or some reasoning in law why you did what you did for the judge to even listen to you. Okay? First thing is first. A highway, regardless of where you are on a highway,
Yes, sir.
if you try to back up, you can cause an accident.
Definitely.
So unless the police officer, again, this is what I would do. Unless the police officer is going to use his vehicle to be behind yours and tell you to back up while he is backing up, to create an avenue for you to safely
Thank you. Well, he didn't do that.
go that far back. And again, this is what you would have to paint. That's a picture you have to paint. That is the only safe way to do what the officer was asking you to do.
Right.
So if that is not what he was telling you to do, he's just telling you to back up. It is a complete difference to say that you, in your proper judgment, in your right mind, you know that can cause damage and accident or even somebody's life by backing up on a highway.
Right.
So thereby, you chose to maintain a safe and proper maneuvering of your car.
Right.
and not follow that direction by the officer because that was unconscionable. That's what I would do.
All right, thank you.
There's
Next thing,
no way someone can tell her to back up on a highway.
right, the next thing I want to ask now, what about the fact that a man let me in at the give me a blind in the lane? Because him give me ticket for that, no, say, boy, I'm obstruct traffic in the lane by going over the lane.
Well, everything in court has to be proven, you know.
Okay.
You cannot be explaining something that someone don't prove. So you ask for the evidence to support that. That's what I would do.
Well, the good thing about that part is me get the man number still. I'm going to ask the money from that come back. Okay? Everybody was upset, you know. They must say, a foolish man do. You know? So me get the man number, ask him if me now come back out. But you know, people always tend to don't want to make that a step because them say them always time. You know?
Right.
Them lose them time, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, that is not something to prove. That is for the officer to prove. If you claim that I was obstructing traffic, right?
Yeah.
Can you present the evidence so that I can evaluate the evidence to see if I want to plead guilty to that, yes or no?
Right, sir.
It's that simple. You don't need to be explaining and proving. You weren't the one who is making that claim, you know. So if the officer is making that claim, he has to prove it.
So true. Thank you very much. A very informative, man. I tell you. And
Right.
please, you must check your message because I want you to send me a number. I want to talk about other things, but
I don't give out the number, you know.
Okay.
If you want to reach me, you have to either become a signatory and join the Telegram group, or you have to send me a message. You can send a message through the website, voiceofjamaica.com, but I don't give out numbers.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's all right. Now do that. Voiceofjamaica.com.
Yeah, man.
Well, I want to thank you so very much for this because then I'm not telling the truth. It does, you know, them things that make you upset, like you know, these police are just trying to use might, you know, take away your rights. You know what I mean? I like them thing there. You know?
Right.
He might try to prove a point now, say him a police and he might give me ticket because him say, even though I know him say illegal as ever. I know it's illegal. There's no way you can back up any farmer main road. I mean, you know, it's not right. You're supposed to think that if your vehicle you're supposed to go around and, you know, proceed and go all the way around to go back and continue back around. I never know you could have back up or either. So that's the thing, you know.
Right. That is called contrary to the flow of traffic. That cannot be legal. So if someone is directing you and you feel it is illegal, then you have a right to say no. You're not doing that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So that's how I would proceed in that manner. But like I said, you know, I can't directly tell you what to do.
Yeah, man. That is very good. And all I need to the website. It's a website. I'm more write it down.
Yeah, man. It's voiceofjamaica.com.
Oh, voiceofjamaica.com. I'll definitely write it down, my family.
Yeah.
You know.
So when you get to the page, it's gonna look something like this.
Okay. Yeah, man. All right, my family. Voiceofjamaica.com. You know? And I must just message you there, right?
Yeah, man. You can send a message there. You can click and contact us. And you can send that.
Well, I'm not trying to tell you something when you keep up the good work. We need people like you. Really and truly, we need people like you in this year, Jamaica, because we've been suffering and need some wrongful accusation. You know?
Right. Well, you know, the power is with the people, you know. I am only here to clarify things and make information available to those who might not know where to look.
I am grateful for that.
Yeah, man.
Very much grateful for that.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
Thank you very much. And trust me, now make sure me follow you. Now make sure turn on my notification because anytime you on, I want to watch you, brother. Yo, brother, I'm search for you till me weep. Never remember your name, brother. Right now, foreign me there in New York right now. You know, I'll catch a flight to come home, to come to Jamaica, to go to Miami later. But me I tell you something, me search for you like, whoa, come here, so me happy. Me just want to ask you, you know. Because me tell you, nah, pay no ticket for them foolishness, man. You know? Nah, pay no ticket, brother. I know the next thing I reach with the boss, eh? What is wrong with them system? If you pay your ticket them, why them cannot take it off of the system? That is the next thing I'm having a big problem with. I drove all the way over Jamaica. I drive to Negril. I drive to Lucy. I pay a ticket. I win a case in Lucy. I drive to Montego Bay. I win that case. I drive to Sablamar. I win the case. They just don't give me no receipt, nothing at all. And tell me, say, well, I'm going to take that for the system. I drive to with the Falmouth. You understand me? Clarendon. Mandeville. Me go so much places and passes. You look at the policeman and just have a way for clear ticket, either to finish them book or something. Because all the ticket them and give me beat them. And guess what? Whatever me pay, them still up on the system. And I couldn't get my license. My driver's license, I can't get it back. You understand? Because them say, we depend on the system. And so I said, that's not my fault. And me if produce receipt. I say, what kind of receipt? If me go to tax office and pay something on tax office, why should I produce a receipt and the tax office is linked to the system?
They should have can't find a way to sue them, you know. The damages. Don't?
Yeah, man, something in that. Yeah, because I do not understand how come you never explain something like that on the can't realize on the ticket up on the system still here. A 14 ticket, them say me up on the system, you know, and me pay the whole lot them, you know.
Well, you know, sometimes you have these situations, and unfortunately, there is no one way to guarantee that you get justice on that. But that's why it is always good to pay by card.
So again,
Yes.
it's always good for what?
You pay by card, a bank card.
Oh, so the
So
bank.
that way you can go back in your bank records and pull that.
Oh, it show
Right.
the trailer crumbs. Nice.
Right.
I guess me have them in the system because most of them me pay by card.
Yeah, man, just check your bank records, man. It's supposed to have a statement with it.
See, you're very informative. Thanks a lot, man. No wonder, but we don't understand the system though. How come you implement a system that you can give us ticket and collect the money and you don't have a proof? We say, you know?
Right, right.
So what is happening with what is happening with the civil servant then? Are the people what we call them, the people who work in the office, not police, not just normal people who work for the government. You call them a civil servant, see me?
Yeah, public servant. Correct.
Public servants. Okay, what is wrong with these public servants that they don't have the time to go in there and take your ticket from the system? What is happening? I don't understand because they not get paid. They don't get paid for them.
That is, you know, they are frontline people, you know, so them don't really care about what's going on, you know. So
Right.
oftentimes it is, I guess you can say it is more profitable to be inefficient and ask for double payment than to correct the system.
Oh. Yes.
But if you can prove so you pay, now that money that you paid, it goes down the drain.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that
No.
is not that's people have to.
It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Because you know, as a victim of all of this, if you don't have some way of keeping records or proving, then now it is used against you.
You can imagine because you stand up before a judge and you said to the judge, I said, Your Honor, can you give me some form of receipt to prove that this case was thrown out? Mr. Hamilton, well, you're gonna have to you don't have to worry about that. It will be off the system. I said, Your Honor, I've encountered with that problem. He start me over and over and tell me that me still on the system. Well, this is
Listen.
well, you the judge are telling me, well, this is Mandeville, sir. This is a different quarters. This is not Kingston. I say, come on, Your Honor. I understand that but it's the same system, and that is what beating us, Your Honor. So, and she tell me, say, boy, I can't get no receipt. I have to just come out of the court. No farmer paper, nothing to stamp and say, okay, you win the case and go on. Nothing. You understand what I said to you?
No.
And it's on the system still.
What you can do, remember, you always have a way to do something, you know. You can't ask them to do everything.
Right.
And a lot of the time, some of these courts are not courts of record. Because it's called a quasi-court.
True.
So, what you can do, you can bring in your own piece of paper.
Bring my own what?
Bring in your own piece of paper
My own receipt.
No, just a blank piece of paper. If the case get thrown out,
Yes.
you say, Your Honor, can you just write up something on this paper to say that the case is closed and have the clerk stamp it, please?
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you God send you. I'm God send you, man, the information in your give because trust me. A man think it easy so if you drive go a man to go be a Lucy. Me drive go man to go be a me drive go Lucy, me drive go Mandeville, me drive go Tabla Mall. You know what I say?
Right.
And all these tickets, you know the ticket I say? Committed another offense. That's what you say, you know, tell me say boy, them charge me for seatbelt, parking, blah blah blah. It finally something itself commit another road traffic offense. So the judge say, what is this? We don't know what to charge you for. At the same time, it come back on the system with the same foolishness and them not take it off.
Right.
And prevent me from getting back my license. Because I say you can't get back your license. Remember I say you get license in 5 years. Every 5 years you have to get your license thing there, right? Renewal.
Mm-hmm.
I lose my license in a Port Lauderdale. And I drive with paper must about nearly 2 years. Kind of me up and down. Now we up and court people them to call me. Them say them when they call me, when the amnesty thing come in, and me can't get them me try ask all policeman to carry me go to court. They carry me go like them lock me up and carry me go just to get the case bring up. You understand me? I said to your boss, so you see me I try? And all of them things I do them things and me still end up. You understand me? Still end up on the system.
Well, you know, I can't really comment on their system, you know, but there are remedies to dealing with them. You know, you just have to come with the law. That's all I can say on that. Otherwise, that is something private we would have to discuss within the group.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I said, you can reach out via the website. I do have to run. So big up on yourself again. Thank you for joining the live.
Thank you, boss.
Yeah, man, big up.
Yes, brother. Big up yourself.
Yeah, man, big up yourself again, Sean.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to
log
post
on
this
and
live on the
explore.
website.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, my brother.
Please.
You can check it out. All right, big up on yourself. Lawful.
Yes.
Always.
Always.
Cool.
Yes. Up and out.